And neighbors say they're lucky that there was no traffic here when the derailment happened, and had there been a car right here behind this white line, some of this debris likely would have flown into the car. Yeah, Judy, we just found out moments ago UW-Eau Claire alumni John and Carolyn Sonnentag have donated $10 million worth of land and money to UW-Eau Claire. That's also 21 acres of land that we're standing on right now. Now I'm joined by Chancellor James Schmidt with UW-Eau Claire, and thanks for joining us, Chancellor.
Glad to be here. It's an exciting day.
It is. We have breaking news tonight out of Vernon County. The body of a man who's been missing for nearly 2 weeks has been found. The Vernon County Sheriff's Office says a canine dog recovered the body of 74-year-old Gaudencio Guyton this afternoon. He was found in the wooded area in the town of Hamburg. That's not too far away from where a hunter's trail camera captured these photos of him walking through the woods. Judy and Nikki, the city of Eau Claire has teamed up with a group of students here at UW-Eau Claire. They're going up and down the streets today to put these decals on storm drains throughout the city. It reads, "No dumping leads to waterways." Bob, actually nothing is recognizable here. It looks a lot like a war zone. In fact, firefighters say the home is a total loss, but they were able to salvage a few of the items from the garage, including these bikes and this trailer, one for mom, dad, and their 11-month-old daughter. Bob and Nikki, this is the first homicide case here in the city of Eau Claire for 2014. The last one happened in September of last year on the north side of the city. Now, what makes the Biesterville homicide case not so typical is that there's no previous history of domestic violence or anything else between Thomas and Lois Biesterville in court records. I'm out here on East Grand Avenue and Dewey Street, and as you can see behind me, it's kind of a freak accident here. This blue Pontiac went crashing into the City Hall building just after 5:30 today. Chris and Nikki, it sure doesn't feel like it, but it looks a lot like Christmas has come to town here at Country Fest. We've got Santa, we've got all the ladies in their lighted hats, they got Santa dolls, they've got a bag of coal to top it all off for all the naughty kids that are here. Hey guys, Jenny Yu here with TV's funny guy, best known for his role in SNL, Seth Meyers, and we're talking about your upcoming show. You're taking over Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Now it's going to be Late Night with Seth Meyers. How exciting is that?
Well, mostly I'm excited they let me rename it, because I think if it was Late Night with Jimmy Fallon and you tuned in and saw me every night, you'd be very upset. But I'm really excited. It seems like it'll be a great new chapter. And I'm Seth Meyers. Good night.
After more than a decade with SNL, the time has finally come for Seth Meyers.
Every Tuesday night, everybody sleeps at the office writing sketches, and it always just reminds me of college. And I guess at 39 years old, it's time to finally leave college.
He's now flying solo as the new host of Late Night, and he's taking some of that humor from SNL.
The element of Weekend Update we most want to bring is that idea of a crazy person coming out that I have to talk to. So that's something we want to try very hard to have on the new Late Night show.
Any connections to Wisconsin that you might have?
I will say this, I'll just be honest. I guess it was the 2010 Super Bowl. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so that was really gutting for me. I was in Dallas when the Green Bay Packers. I mean, if you have to lose to anyone, it should be the Green Bay Packers. I wasn't upset about that, but on a personal level, it was a really tough day. And there's nothing sadder than watching adult people with foam cheese on their heads celebrating when you're really sad.
Jenny Yu, WEAU 13 News. Judy and Nikki, you might as well have opened up your umbrellas at the State Theater this weekend, because with all that heavy rain, the roof was leaking, the walls just dripping with water, the floor is covered in puddles, but as any theater buff knows, the show must go on.
We were standing side stage, and that's all you could hear was the rain coming in from outside.
Carrie Bodenberg knows her character on Annie Warbucks inside and out, but on Saturday, Act 2 came with a little rain, and it wasn't special effects.
It was near the front of the curtain, and it was a big puddle. We couldn't use that to enter anymore. You could see the drips coming down onto the stage.
State Theater Executive Director Ben Richgruber says that leak came from the roof.
And that came down backstage over some electrical equipment, and then some, obviously, props and scenic elements that were sitting there off stage as well.
A second leak flowing in through the bottom of an exit door near the audience.
The drain just couldn't keep up, so the water started pooling and it got over the height of the door frame. So we had water coming in from under a door in the middle of the theater, in the house. So that was leaking down to the front, hit the stage, and then went down into the orchestra pit.
I think the worst part was underneath, where people couldn't see. There's a big hallway with all the dressing rooms, and it was just, the floor was completely soaked. It was very dangerous to walk on, especially in heels.
Even with plenty plans to move forward with the Confluence project. Rich Gruber says keeping up with the State Theater's needs is critical.
If we were to replace the entire roof, it could be over $700,000. So these are big numbers, but with or without the Confluence, we're going to be using this space as a performance venue for years until we can move into there. And even after that, if we hope to preserve this and make it another use and another type of facility after Confluence.
I'm happy that people are supporting the Confluence project financially, but in the meantime, our local theaters need their support as well so that issues like this can be fixed.
And this wasn't the Chippewa Valley Theater Guild's first time dealing with rain inside the State Theater. It actually happened once before last summer during a show. Now, Rich Gruber says that until the funding is met, they will continue to patch up the cracks. Floyd Pipcorn says he was out getting groceries last night when he came home to this.
The whole house was already engulfed. The fire department was already here.
Thankfully, his wife, 11-month-old daughter, and 3 dogs were up at her mother's house.
It was surreal. It's hard to describe. You have a nice house 1 minute and you come back and it's all gone.
The home daughter Zoe was supposed to grow up in now blackened and charred. But amidst of all that was destroyed, there's hope.
You can definitely feel it when you drive into Elk Mound that we are all family. And when your neighbor is in trouble, that's what your job is. You're there to help them get back up on their feet.
Melissa Topper is secretary at Shepherd of the Hill Lutheran Church in Elk Mound. She says the church is accepting donations for the family.
They do need baby clothes. Zoe is a little small for her age, so they're looking for size 2 diapers, 6 to 12-month clothes.
It's the small stuff that you don't realize you need until it's gone. Like, bottles of formula or even just like, teethers or things like that.
Dunn County Fire Investigator Matthew Feeney says the fire doesn't look suspicious and is likely accidental.
Based on witness statements and fire patterns, we believe it may have started in the basement.
He says because an excavator was used to help access the flames, much of the evidence is destroyed, which will make it difficult to determine a cause.
There's not one piece of that structure that wasn't damaged, so it's a complete loss for them. They've lost everything. So helping them through this is also one of our goals, try to make it as an easy a process for them as possible.
Pipcorn says that he and his family will be staying at a hotel while they're working with insurance. And if you are interested in donating items to the church, don't forget about Mom and Dad. They likely are in need of some clothes as well. And also they do have 3 dogs, so if you have any dog food, donate that as well. For now, live in Elk Mound, Jenny Yu, WEAU 13 News.
I've been coming here since 1973 when I moved to Eau Claire because they're handy. They cut your hair. That's what I was looking for.
While the rest of Water Street has changed through the years, Roy's Barber Shop has been a constant.
Over the years, it's been a good place to come and get to know people, and they get on your case and you get stimulated and you go home.
Loyal patron Jerry Johnson says he remembers going to Wright's Barbershop as a child. It belonged to Roy Wright Sr.'s grandfather. Then in 1947, Roy Sr. opened Roy's Barbershop just down the street. He later passed it on to his son, Roy Jr.
But he had sold it to Denny Blazer, and he's been in there for 50 years cutting hair. He sold it to me 6 years ago.
Owner Corey Cooper has been cutting hair at Roy's for 17 years. He says the secret to its success has to do with the people.
Everyone's very one-on-one. You know the person's family, you know the kids, what their kids' activities are. The father brings his boy in. They grow up bringing their boy in. They like the atmosphere.
And a lot has changed over the last 67 years here at Roy's Barbershop, but a lot has also stayed the same, including some of the barbering techniques like the straight edge.
Oh, yeah, it's scary out there.
Just don't move and you'll be fine.
I'm frozen.
Even the younger generation seeing something special in an old-time barbershop.
Was walking by this place on Water Street Friday night, and I looked inside and I was like, wow, those are some official barber chairs.
It's kind of a staple. We're a landmark on the street, and something to be said for things not changing, staying the same.
Tonight at 10, the search for a missing canoeist comes to an end when recovery crews pull his body from the Eau Claire River. Altoona Fire and Rescue crews say they've recovered the body of a 21-year-old man whose canoe tipped over near the Altoona Dam. He says the goal of Bruce's legacy is to bring peace of mind to the families of the victims, and that's something the Altoona Police and Fire Department says that they hope the Fitzgerald's family has tonight. Our big story at 10, a strong warning from police as an annual tradition takes to the waterway in Chippewa Falls. Chippewa Falls police officers were out in full force this afternoon as the Frenchtown annual tube float and regatta, or better known as FATFAR, took on the Chippewa River. Just as the event kicked off, the department released this statement saying in part, participants are encouraged not to float down the river today. Despite that warning, many still got on their tubes and went down that river. WEU's Amanda Tyler has tonight's story. Some good advice and good news. The Chippewa Falls Police Department says they did not respond to any emergencies out on the river for today's event, but they're still urging people to use caution while floating the river in the coming days as water levels will continue to be higher than average. So the rain has tapered off and sounds like there's some sunshine on the way. Let's send it over to Skywarn 13 meteorologist Drew Williams and find out just how much rain we got here in the Chippewa Valley. Thanks, Drew. New tonight, one person has died in a fire at a home in Black River Falls this morning. The Black River Falls Fire Department says it happened around 9 this morning at a home on Fillmore Street. A graduating senior makes a grand entrance to his commencement ceremony this weekend, but it cost his dad a citation.
Be aware you may need the umbrella on and off throughout the rest of this week.
So what should we wear? Like a light coat, waterproof mascara?
Well, it's going to be warm out there.